Burger King gave me trust issues for like a 3-month period of time because I was doing all these third party like delivery apps, and I wouldn't order from Burger King even though I wanted a Whopper. I didn't know if I was getting an Impossible one, so I didn't want to be tricked. You know,
you were afraid of them tricking you into eating an Impossible burger.
Correct. And here's the other caveat is like if I did want an Impossible burger, I mean, I would want to be the one ordering it and have that experience. I wouldn't want to be like, you know,
tricked into it.
The rug pulled out from under me and be like, got you.
Okay, before we go any further, I want to unpack this just a little bit. What reason do you think that they would be doing this to you? Do you think they'd be doing it as like a marketing thing, trying to pull one over on you? Or do you think it'd just be an accident that you would get one?
If we're being honest, I think it would be an accident because we're talking about fast food here. Yeah, it wasn't like some like, you know.
At least it's a semi-rational fear.
Yes, yeah, it was more or less like I want meat, and I think they're going to give me non-meat, and just out of accident. And
because you know non-meat is in the building, you assume someone's going to fuck up, which I think is a reasonable assumption if you're dealing with a fast food joint.
Exactly. Because I've had many a fucked up orders from a fast food joint for sure. But to my knowledge, I haven't had an Impossible burger yet. You know.
Here's the thing. I think I might have tasted one at some point, but it's not even really like, you know, it's marketed as like it's somehow healthier for you, even though it's mainly like canola oil and like all this shit that's just put in there that's like made to seem like meat, but it's not meat and it's not food. It's just like this food shaped thing, you know? And like, first of all, like how it's being marketed or who's marketing it is worrisome because it's like Burger King and McDonald's is going to be doing some bullshit and whoever, like all these fast food companies, like, well, you shouldn't be eating anything from those companies anyway. And the fact that they're trying to like tell people to eat it and order it and that kind of, it's like, no, like that's a pretty good sign that like it's a bad idea. But I think like there's also that next step of things where it's not just taking plant products and making them seem like meat. There's also the lab grown meat, which is basically like where they come up with this chunk of stuff that supposedly is basically meat.
Well, yeah, so like in a lab in a petri dish, so they're growing like tissue, you know, and so they're growing tissue that forms into like some kind of fatty, kind of meaty like substance, which, in my opinion, I'm like, if I'm eating an Impossible burger that's either like grown in a lab or a veggie, I'm going to take veggie, right? Right? I don't want something that's grown in a lab but still does taste like meat.
That's the thing. I don't want either one.
Way worse for you.
If I'm going to eat vegetarian, like I'll have like some eggs and beans and whatever and some rice. You know, like I don't want oils shaped into meat shaped things.
Exactly.
Like I don't need if I'm going to give up meat, like that means I have to give up hamburgers, you know?